Bienvenue sur Monarque, l'incarnation pour le conseil de l'enfer. Dans le premier cercle, on y trouve un climat horrible avec des monstres mangeurs d'hommes. Vient ensuite les autochtones, une espèce d'hommes brutaux et étranges surtout par leurs idées, des idées plus que bizarres, des idées dangereuses. On a même entendu parler d'anarchisme.
Hey, hold on there. I gotta sign you in. Don't think I've seen you around. That means you must be new to Stellar Bay. You are new here, right?
Mais bon, même en enfer, il faut signer des papiers, ce qui reste logique. Les deux vont parfaitement ensemble.
I knew it. See, I made what you'd call a logical deduction. You must have seen those UDL gunships on your way in. There's only 3 of them these days. Still, they tend to scare folk off. You may not have heard, you being new, but Stellar Bay hardly ever gets off-road traffic, us being cut off by the board and all. Which means I never get to do this part, but I've been practicing, so here goes. On behalf of Monarque Stellar Industries, welcome to Stellar Bay, home of the freshest sal tuna in Halcyon. Please state your name for the records. Swell. There's one for the logs. I'm even gonna give you your own entry code. I'm not supposed to do that. It's against procedure, but Mr. Sanjar isn't so strict about the rules here. Besides, I got a lot of empty entries to fill. Oh, that'll just make Mr. Sanjar's day if you tell him. The board makes up lots of nasty stories about raptidons and cannibals and whatnot. But that's all outside our walls. Mostly. We don't get ship traffic in town. Only off-worlders who do make it out here are sublight. They got a base in Fallbrook. And thank the stars for them, or we would have run out of Rizzo's Purple Berry Crunch years ago. Oh, sure. They make Stellar Bay sound like a rotten place, but it's not so bad. Get a good breeze going, and the sulfur smell mostly covers up the fishy smell.
Ah, the nostalgic stench of home. Can't say I miss the day-to-day of living in Edgewater.
Anyway, Mr. Sanjar's got lots to say on that subject. Kinda goes over my head, though. Mr. Sanjar will be mighty pleased to meet you. If you see him over at headquarters, maybe you could tell him I did a bang-up job of welcoming you? Oh, and if you're headed that way, maybe you could do me a favor? I got this Rizzo's Rangers Tossball poster coming in on the next sublight shipment, signed by the Black Hole himself. Only I haven't heard anything in a while. You think you could check with Celia to see if it's come in?
C'est toujours impressionnant de voir des gens enthousiastes et positifs dans ce genre de trou. On dirait un chiot qui aurait pris forme humaine.
Thanks a bunch. Celia works for Mr. Sanjar in the MSI building next to the bar. She's always there, so you can't miss her.
En tout cas, changement de programme. Félix sera peut-être plus adapté à ce lieu que Pavarti. Il pourra parler de Toxball
Where are we headed?
et casser des nez si la situation l'exige.
Sure thing, Captain. I'll be waiting back at the Unreliable if you need me.
De plus, Ophélia a décelé en lui un petit côté activiste. Finalement, c'est comme lui offrir des vacances.
What are the chances of all the times and places we could have been born?
Yeah.
We're here, light years from Earth, going about our lives.
Every time the punch clock peals, a worker earns his meals.
What are you talking?
Well, well. Isn't often we see new folk in Stellar Bay. First drink's on me, stranger. Enjoy. If you plan on sitting through Nyoka's stories, you might could use a few.
I could use a few and telling them myself.
Now what can I do for you? Thought it had a fancy ring to it. Name's the first advertising anyone sees, after all. Ah, don't be so negative. It's what's on the inside that counts. Speaking of, you look like you could use a bottle with something good in it. Not since Amber Heights. These days we have more leaving than coming. Off to join the iconoclasts or some such. Anyone who spends any amount of time in this bar is bound to get to know Nyoka, on account of her being here so often herself. And I don't mean that unkindly. Anyone who's rid us of as many beasts as you have is entitled to a few drinks.
And the little bastard's slippery, right? On account of its blood, so it's sliding. All over the place, trying to crawl away. Getting so I can't tell the blood from the mud. But I gotta get in there, get right in that baby rap's stomach and dig it out. If so much as a drop of stomach acid got on that medallion, shit, I don't know what I'd do. Might be I'd hunt every damn rapt out there. Right. What are you staring? Wait. You ain't from around here. Who are you? Ooh, charmer. Don't get a lot of that around here. Folks mostly grump at me about how I should join the MSI payroll. Nice change of pace. Buy me a drink, will you? Outstanding! What are you doing in Stellar Bay, stranger? Well. Let's get down to brass nuts then, shall we? Wait, that ain't it. Brass rats? Let's talk business. I'm headed back out there after I sober up. You want a guide sooner than that? You'll have to get me something to clear my head. Outstanding! Our dispensary here maintains a stock of, well, I don't rightly know what they are. Steroid or caffeine somethings? Pills. They're very good. I'm cut off for the month, on account of needing one just about every damn day. But I'm sure you've got your wily ways. Fetch me one and we'll be all set. That's quitter talk. You want me shooting straight? Give me my meds.
Velma seem out of sorts to you? She's always cranky. No, I mean, more
If Velma's capable of running the warehouse, she can certainly pick up her own caffeinoid.
Don't be so hard on her. With Brax missing, she's working doubles and needs a little edge.
Very well, dearie. But you stop by anytime you like. Hmm?
Thanks, I'll keep that in mind.
Hello, dearie. Why, I don't believe I've seen you before. And with sweet cheeks like those, I'd remember. What can Auntie Abigail do for you? She works over at the fishery next door. Quite the hard worker, but she's got a bit of a temper. Why, just the other day, I heard her shouting from here. I can't imagine what set her off. Oh, but here I go again, running my mouth when it's none of my business. Was there something else you needed? Bless your little heart, you must mean caffeinoid. If it's pep you need, one pill does the deed. Now, dearie, who's this pickup for? I'm so sorry, but with the iconoclasts and the marauder filth chasing away what little trade we get, I'm afraid I have to reserve my supply for Stellar Bay residents. Our reserves have gotten so low, I've even had to start locking the supply room upstairs. Isn't it a shame what some people will do to get a little extra? Isn't it just? I'd make an exception for you if I could, my little cherub. Is there anyone else needing a special pickup from Auntie Abigail? Oh, her. It's none of my business, but I have told her Dr. Williams would bump up her monthly allotment if only she'd join MSI. Contribute like the rest of us. Now I've gone and said too much. And you know me, dearie. I don't like to pry. I'm afraid it'll be the better part of a month. Our dear Nyoka tends to exhaust her supply rather quickly. Believe me, there's nothing I'd love better than to help you, but there's not much I can do. Dr. Williams managed the town's allotments from his terminal upstairs. Even I can't access them. Oh, you flatter an old woman. Me, I'm just here to be a pretty face for the customers. And to keep an extra key to the supply room, for all the times Dr. Williams misplaced his. Careless experimentation with medicinal substances does take its toll, eventually. In the town graveyard, I'm afraid. Poor man was always searching for the flower of enlightenment. On the way, he tried some rather daring substance combinations. It's a philosophist symbol of some kind, dearie. Never you mind. The graveyard's near the southern ruins. You're certainly welcome to pay our respects, but the bodies tend to attract beasties.
You're gonna go tussle with some raptidons? Because I've been practicing my dropkick.
Do be careful. I'd hate for anything to happen to you, dearie.
Ça ne servira à rien d'avoir mauvaise réputation auprès de la pire pipelette de la ville.
Chin up, dearie.
Ophélia hésite à agir discrètement en utilisant le fabuleux talent qu'elle a pour se déplacer accroupie. Mais il lui reste encore de nombreux endroits à explorer dans cette ville, et peut-être trouvera-t-elle une meilleure solution. Pour l'heure, rien n'est perdu pour la voie légale. Ophélia n'a qu'à retrouver le médecin, lui faire un peu de charme et récupérer les pilules, et avec cela, un guide. Allez, on avance.
Fresh blood at last. Stellar Bay could use some.
Could I get another advance, Mr. Nandi?
Just make sure it's properly logged.
I'll note it next to the others, sir.
Wrap musk and canadize, right here.
Ma'am, please, I need your help.
Si on demandait à Ophélia si elle se retourne à cause du « j'ai besoin d'aide » ou de « je peux payer », elle répondrait en fonction de ce que vous vouliez entendre. Même elle se répète qu'elle n'est pas une héroïne, qu'elle fait juste ce qu'elle a à faire. Mais plus ça va, plus elle se retrouve à s'occuper des autres, ne serait-ce que parce qu'ils ont l'air incapables de retrouver leur cul avec leurs deux mains si elle n'était pas là pour les aider.
Oh, thank you for stopping. Everyone acts like nothing's wrong, like my little boy isn't at risk of being eaten by some vile creature. Please, you have to help me get my little Tucker back. He ran away and is going to get himself killed. Oh, I just know a raptidon is melting him with acid as we speak. Oh, I just knew you were a good person. Agnes, I said, this is the woman to save your little Tucky. And I was right. He ran out into the wilderness a few days ago. I warned him about the raptidons, mantisaurs, and marauders, the toxic sulfur pools, and poisonous plants, but he didn't listen. Please, won't you go and find my boy? Well, I guess I can't ask you to leave the town walls for free. It is deathly dangerous out there. I've got some bits saved up for a rainy day. I'll give you every last one if you just bring my Tucker back to me. I won't even be mad at him running off. You tell him I won't be mad. He's been pining for an adventure. Says he's tired of living cooped up behind the walls. But he doesn't understand how dangerous it is out there. I warned him. A raptidon would snap him up first chance it got. I just know one's ripped his arm off and is gnawing on his sweet little fingers. He should have listened to his mama. I promised I'd keep him safe here with me. He's been listening to those awful broadcasts that the iconoclasts put out. I begged Sanjar to put a stop to them, but did he? No! And now I just know my boys run off to Amber Heights. That is, if a manta queen hasn't spooled out and eaten his entrails for breakfast already. That old settlement, southwest of Stellar Bay. I don't know which is worse, the thought of my son shacking up with them nutty iconoclasts, or that he never made it. Sprats could be nesting in his rotting body alongside the road as we speak. Or maybe marauders got him, pulled all his teeth out, crushed him into their drugs and made him snort them. Oh, the things that could happen to my sweet baby. Those low-life degenerates, leading innocent boys into a life of danger. Oh, they make it sound so exciting. Like it's noble to risk it all out there, fighting for the greater good.
Not sure I'm seeing the problem here.
You're one of them, aren't you? You should be ashamed of yourself, young man. Just as your mama would be. How noble is it to worry your loved ones? Not at all, I say. But still they preach their sermons of anarchy and rebellion to anyone who listened. If they weren't holed up in Amber Heights, I'd knock them all upside the head. Thank you. Oh, I know he'll be safe now that someone's able to fetch him home. You look for him in Amber Heights, you hear? It's down the road southwest of town. I'm sure he made it that far, I just know it. And if you find any of them iconoclasts indoctrinating my boy, you punch them in the mouth. Tell them what I think of them luring little boys away from their mamas. It's immoral.
Après avoir parlé à sa mère, il est très difficile de blâmer ce garçon de s'être enfui. Les raptidons doivent avoir l'air d'une fête foraine à côté de ces serments. Cette mission sur Monarque sera forcément plein d'imprévus. Et Ophélia sans doute, c'est comme cela depuis son réveil. Lorsqu'elle aura le guide, si elle arrive à le recruter, il va falloir se frayer un chemin vers son contact, en passant à travers un véritable champ de bataille entre factions.
Hold on to your hats, children. This ride is about to get ugly.
We gotta go exploring. I want to see some savages.
C'est parti pour la charpie. On ne peut pas dire que le paysage soit très accueillant, mais Monarque a un certain charme, le charme de l'exotisme. Ce premier contact avec la faune locale confirme les craintes d'Ophélia. Ça ne sera pas aussi facile de mettre cette espèce sous la voie de l'extinction. Tout l'inverse à la vallée d'Émeraude. Mais rassurez-vous, elle a bien l'intention de s'y employer, avec toute la violence nécessaire. Évidemment, la première chose que l'on construit dans une colonie, c'est une église géante. Malheureusement pour eux, ça n'allait pas les sauver de la colère de cette planète. En même temps, les raptidons, eux, n'ont rien demandé. Les humains débarquent, ils construisent, ils tirent dans le tas. Pas étonnant que la faune locale soit énervée. À leur place, on aurait fait pareil, mais avec des missiles nucléaires, c'est tout. Bon, à la nuance près que ce sont des planètes terraformées et que cette faune, techniquement, c'est nous qui l'avons mise ici. La Sainte Terre qui est vraiment dans les cieux. Beaucoup trop loin. Non, Ophélia n'est pas très sensible à la fibre nostalgique des déracinés, même si, dans son ressenti, elle n'a pas quitté la Terre depuis longtemps. Pour l'instant, elle est concentrée sur la règle numéro 1 et ne rien laisser perdre. Vraiment rien. Et elle a un look d'enfer avec ça. Croyez-le pas, mais ce chapeau aura une importance cruciale à l'avenir. Ophélia continue son tour dans le vieux hameau. On ne sait jamais ce que l'on peut trouver.
A visitor? What an unexpected surprise! Please, come in. Come in.
I, for one, welcome a reprieve from our travels. That is, if you'll have us, kind sir.
That's the spirit. Now come in. Make yourselves comfortable. Excellent. You've arrived at just the right time. My wife is putting the finishing touches on dinner. Please, make yourself at home until it's ready.
I think I just lost my appetite.
Une famille joyeuse dans les décombres d'une ancienne cité à l'extérieur des murs, isolée, au milieu de créatures immondes, reste une chose pour le moins suspecte.